Hometown, wow, Waterford, Michigan. Grew up pretty fortunate, lived on the lake, Williams Lake. Neat small town. Everybody was very close, very much automotive center. A lot of families worked in the automotive, including my dad for Chrysler, and got to play a lot of hockey on the lake. Got to do the water sports in the summer. It was pretty spoiled. I was pretty spoiled. First exposure to hockey was when we lived in St. Louis, Missouri. My dad was transferred there for Chrysler, worked in the factories there. And my dad would get us up at 5 a.m. on a Sunday before church and go skate at the outdoor rink. Pretty neat. And we'd skate with the McCoys, another family that had three kids that played, and their dad would jam the ice, and we got extra ice that way, and got hooked on hockey. It was my dad's sport growing up. He loved hockey. Didn't play organized, played more football organized, but he introduced us to hockey and made sure that was the sport we first played. That's all I knew. Hockey was all I knew growing up. Really didn't think about school. Hockey was it, gonna play in the NHL. From a pretty young age, that was the dream. And then, there's some time in there where you have to have a little reality, and everybody hangs them up eventually. But for me, it was about the age of 21 where I realized I wasn't strong enough, wasn't good enough in the sport to keep playing, and hung them up to go to school and then start working factory. Yes, I wasn't going to coach. Once I hung them up, I was done. I didn't go back to the rink for 3 years, and I didn't play adult hockey or anything like that. I was too busy. It was a lot of 7 days a week working for Chrysler, and so yeah, I didn't think I was going to coach. Working for Chrysler was going really well, and I enjoyed it. It was tough hours, but it was one of those things. For me, it was, I say, God hit me on the head one day in the plant, and the next thing you know, a couple doors opened up to get into coaching. I don't know. I always say we as coaches, we put ourselves too high on a pedestal. It's a job. It's a job, and unfortunately, we sometimes think it's more than that, and think too highly of ourselves, I guess I would say. So for me, it was, watching kids have success, see kids build some self-esteem, get some confidence, believe in themselves, seeing kids get commitments, seeing kids win championships. There was a group, all the groups, I guess, have been great. The championships that have been there have been kids that came together as a team. That was the difference. Yeah, I would say my last 2 years playing junior hockey, so I played juniors in the States, and then I played in Canada for 2. I could start to see a little bit the first year that everybody was good, and how tough it really was to make that next step. And for me, it probably would have made more sense to play college hockey. I didn't. I played major junior. I could have used the extra years in college, the extra years, probably more time spent training my legs, getting bigger and stronger. But back then, none of the teams did. We did no weight training, no organized weight training. We had never heard of what a squat was back then. That was for football players. So, yeah, for me, it was in my first year playing out in the WHL, in the Dub. Well, I really believe it's, you start with development. You're trying to help each young man in their weaknesses, and how do you work on their weaknesses, but you're also trying to help them learn how to be a teammate and learn what it means to play for your teammates, to prepare for practice, to prepare for games, what really the work it takes. Everyone thinks that they're working hard, and at the next level, college and pro, it's even that much harder. So, you're trying to get them to understand that they always have more, that they got to have the right habits. So, for me, the philosophy is, if you're working on each one individually, and you're working on, what's going to help them also be, because they all come with different backgrounds. Some fit in and things didn't come easy for them in hockey, so they become great teammates because they've learned to be a team player. Other guys, things have come so easy for them that they haven't had to work very hard. So it's liking the challenges and enjoying to work with the kids that have the high end versus the kids that don't have quite as high end, and I think there's rewards in all of it. Fun group. Great group. There's a lot of strong character in the group, and the first couple months was unique in trying to just get them to believe in the morning practices and getting out of bed, not sleeping in, and being more productive and going to bed earlier, and getting them to understand that it would pay off for them, but there's a lot of character, and they really have come together. They're not only fun, but they're a great group to work with. There's a lot of warriors, and there's a lot of guys that have joined that crew where their compete level is so much stronger, and it's because of being pushed by their teammates. So we've got younger and older, and they all seem to play for each other, and there's really no individuals on this team, and it makes it easy for us as coaches. Great sport, best sport there is. With that, I still would encourage them to let them be athletes. Let them be the athletes first and not just play one sport. All the studies are out there. It's better for their bodies, better for them mentally to learn how to play other sports. And I think the lessons for parents are so huge in a team sport where you're not handed things. You have to earn them. You have to go and work hard, and you've got to learn not to make excuses, and you got to learn not to rely on, as parents, you got to let the coaches coach and give them the authority, and don't teach your kids that they're allowed to have excuses. If they don't like the way things are, ice time, playing time, whatever, then they have the ability to go change that, and not me or a parent going to complain. And they don't have to play travel hockey. They don't have to play at the top level. There's a time when they do need to, but at the younger age, it's about more ice time than anything, getting on the pond if they can, and learning to be an athlete, because if they're better at all the other sports, it'll translate on the ice. It's awesome. Love how many old time guys that have seen it from the pro days. They're awesome to tap into because they've got a wealth of knowledge from way back, from the Fury, the Mohawks, and some of the other teams. So I think it's just the tradition and history here for hockey is just amazing, and it's a fun environment to be in because you've got a lot of knowledge, and they just want to see kids working and playing hard and playing together. Well, I think this community what I'm seeing is it continues to support them. We continue to see more enthusiasm for these guys, and so would love to see them right here, continuing with playing junior hockey, and the fan base recognizing the high-end ability that's here, and hopefully the USHL continuing to grow in what it's doing, and that is it's hard to grow with scholarships because the scholarships are pretty incredible for the USHL, but more and more players that higher end that want the NHL are going to get drafted to choose this league instead of going to Canada. Wow, I mean, first would be my dad. My dad was, my role model and a great role model, and was our coach as well, and all the coaches that I had. But he always coached us until it was second year midgets and it was time to pass us along. But my dad, my mom, just the travel and the time that they had to put into it would be for sure number one. And then coaching, I would say there's been plenty of guys for coaching. The first one would be Jeff Jackson. He was huge for me and a great mentor. And Paul Baxter and George McPhee has been great to just advise and help. Great when you have people that you can turn to that know the game and have coached and can help give you the right advice.